Otherwise, you're simply being led by your ego. And your ego just wants to win. Often you will find that in winning the argument, you actually lose your partner. And so, in the things that we've modeled, this is leading our love to ruin. These traits we inherited from the pain inflicted, patterns we repeated from our progenitors that left us emotionally restricted. Patterns our parents passed down, but pain passed does not mean it is proper or conducive to foster the kind of relationship we fancy to offer. It brings fully into question if we even have the tools needed to nurture the long term and cool the temperature of the room when things get heated. Or is this simply all fantasy, a make-believe concept, one which we cannot bring into the realm of our reality, possessing the inability to resolve conflict, so we find ourselves in a pattern of constantly moving on to greener pastures. Blinded by desire, unable to see beyond ego and pride, so quick to pack our bags, those bags filled with so many things, but all the while empty inside, unable to see it with our own eyes, blind to the true culprit of our field's demise. So easily is received the destruction of our love and trust, left with only the familiar taste of poison and the emptiness of lust. A constant flee, but no matter how far we run or where we run to, we cannot run from us. Traveling with baggage. Traveling with baggage. It's really a metaphor for how many of us handle relationships, right? And baggage is really emotional baggage, right? It's the scars, the trauma, all of the experiences that we've had in previous relationships. And those relationships can be romantic. They can be relationships with family members, relationships with friends, associates, co-workers. But it's all baggage, right? It's all things that we carry. And the more relationships you go to, and the more trauma and the more negative experiences you have that are left unresolved, become more and more baggage. That baggage becomes heavier over time. And the baggage can even extend into childhood, how we were raised, right? Did you grow up in a household that had a healthy relationship between your mother and your father, right? Were you able to witness them have conflict, but at the end of the day, find a way to resolve such conflict? Or did you grow up in a home, in an environment in which when conflict happened, there were no conflict resolution skills. And so that is the baggage that you then carry forward with you, right? Because we don't really model what we're told to do, or, if someone gives you, positive and good advice on how to handle conflict, resolve conflict, that's generally not the natural way that we handle things. We model generally what we see and what we grow up under. And so that's kind of where it comes into where I use the line pain past, right? Patterns we repeated from our progenitors, right? And often it's because it's what you modeled, it's what you saw, it's what you were accustomed to. But just because it's what you're accustomed to, it's familiar, doesn't necessarily mean that it's conducive to helping you achieve your relationship goals, right? So if all you modeled were patterns of toxicity, well, that will always invade your relationship. And if you are not aware of this, it will continue to destroy each relationship that you go into. And so that's why I ask this of us, right? I ask this of us, do we even have the tools needed to nurture a long-term relationship? Because, in order to do that, you need to have conflict resolution skills. Otherwise, you're simply being led by your ego. And your ego just wants to win. Often you will find that in winning the argument, you actually lose your partner. And so in the things that we've modeled that we are not even aware of, we only see that which we desire, that relationship, that long-term relationship, right? And we're blinded by such desire. We're blinded by it, right? Because we know what we want, but we are blinded that what we carry into the relationship is the exact thing that's preventing us from being successful in the relationship, right? And so when you have not modeled conflict resolution, again, you're driven by your ego, right? So you're unable to see beyond your ego and your pride. And that is what ultimately will drive you. And so when we see that we cannot win, because often you have both people being driven by ego and pride at some point during the conflict, and a solution is nowhere in sight. And so what happens? You reach a stalemate, right? And how do we handle that? Well, we pack our bags and we move on to the next relationship. But as we packed our bags, that bag is not just full with all the trauma from the relationship that we're leaving. It's full with all the other previous relationships that are in the back, right? So they're in the back, and you're just dropping those things in that bag. It's just continuing to drop into that bag, right? And that's why I use the line, this bag we carry that's filled with so many things. How the way that he hurt me, the way that she hurt me, what my mom did, what my dad did, what my brother did, what my sister did, or how my colleagues handled this situation, or how my best friend betrayed me. All these things are being packed into this bag, right? Over time, and you're just carrying it. You're carrying it to the next relationship. And often we're not even conscious of things like this, right? And so, throughout this process, many things happen in a relationship, right? One of the things that's very hard to build, but easy to tear down is trust. So easily is received the destruction of love and trust, right? Falling in love is the easy part, right? Those are the butterflies. These are the emotions of it all. But trust is another thing. That's tough to build. It takes a lot of strength, courage, and at the end of the day, it requires you to be vulnerable, right? So it takes a level of vulnerability to even build trust. So it's something that's hard to build, but it's easily torn down. It can be torn down in a matter of seconds. And us being blind or just being unaware of the baggage that we carry is contributing to that. And so often the solution that we look for so many times is, okay, I'm done with her, right? I'm going to a new girl, or I'm done with him. I'm going to a new guy, and that's the solution. And then after the butterfly stage is over with that relationship, you run into conflict again that you are yet unable to resolve. So guess what? Pack your bags, move on to the relationship, the next one, right? And the bag just continues to get heavier. And all the while we're running from our partner to the new partner, only to experience yet almost the same, identical issues. And that's why I say, no matter how far we run or where we run to, we cannot run from us. And that's the thing that I think we miss, is that we are looking at our partner to fix us. We're looking at our partner to not have flaws. We're looking at our partner to be the solution when we've yet to fix ourselves. And so what you end up seeing is, no matter how far you run, where you run to, you are always there. You are always the common denominator. And this is how cycles continue to repeat. And so that's really what traveling with baggage is about. It's really about recognizing that we all have emotional baggage, but you have to unpack it. You have to unpack that bag and deal with those issues. Don't take your trauma to the next relationship. Take the lessons that you learned from that trauma so you can find a way to nurture the relationship and not to poison it, all because of things that have happened in the past. You're always going to be there. You cannot run from you, and your partner cannot fix you. You have to stop looking for your partner to fix you. Only you can do that. And so with that, I say, at the end of the day, instead of us always trying to find a way for our partner to fix us, we really need to deal with the baggage, find solutions to that, fix ourselves, and then do what? Pack light. That's what I recommend you do, is that you pack light. All right. That's it for this episode, guys. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Episode 2 of this podcast. And, please like and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment, share the episode. And I'll leave you with this, to achieve anything in life, The start does not have to be perfect, but you must start. Thanks, everybody. My name is Ronaldo Gilly. I'll see you in the next episode.